3, 2.
Hey guys, Chance with Preying on Predators here with Timmy Ray in his hunt lodge right now, coming at you with a different type of video. Instead of doing highlight reels, we're going to do some informative videos, interviews of some of the guys around the game, gear reviews, stuff like that, and give you our tips, tricks, strategies that has worked for us and hopefully it'll work for you. I just want to give you an introduction of who we are, our background, how we got into the game of predator hunting, and going from there. And so we'll just get going from there. Timmy, why don't you go ahead and give us a little background about yourself?
Thank you. Timmy Ray, drop zone hunting. Been hunting predator or coyote hunting since really late 2017, really hard in 2018. Kind of the addiction started there, and that's where I've been. Do a little turkey hunting, turkey calling, some deer, a little bit of deer hunting, but predators and night hunting is just what we do. And we're average guys. We don't put up the big piles, but we go sometimes 3-4 nights a week, and weather dependent. And we want to share what we're doing with the masses, because I know Chance gets a lot of questions on social media. I get some questions, what we're doing, what gear we're running. So, hopefully we can cover that. We're going to, like you said, we're going to have some people on, and, I'm all about both ends of the spectrum. With my tournament, I want both ends, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk to guys that are just getting into the game, to guys that are in the industry. So hopefully you guys we'll talk about some of them topics in a minute. Talk about who I am. Like I said, born and raised here in eastern North Carolina, Onslow County. Hunted deer, pretty much growing up. That was all we did. Joined the Marine Corps, late 90s. Got out, rolled into a law enforcement career where I've been for 23 years. Hopefully going to retire in a couple of years and do a little bit more coyote hunting. Maybe I can be a pro someday.
Yeah, I'm amateur coyote hunter right now.
Yeah, but that's it. We'll talk about, like you said, we're going to talk about everything. So tell us about you.
Guys, Chance, originally from Texas, born and raised, joined the Marine Corps, got stationed out here in eastern North Carolina. Grew up hunting, mainly rabbits and upland burn. Never did deer hunting until I got here in the Marine Corps. Had a buddy get me into it. Fast forward a few years, stationed overseas, come back, visiting some friends in Texas. The guy I went to high school with, he took me out night vision thermal hunting for hogs, and that's when the addiction started. Just couldn't get enough of it. As soon as I got behind a thermal scope, the game over. I had to go and get one. As soon as I got back to North Carolina, I went and bought one. No more lights, no more night vision.
I think it's a lot of guys start. I started with lights, night vision, and thermal. So there's a lot of progression in there. A lot of money, extra money spent. If you're not sure about the game, that's where you got to start at.
Yeah, so. I did lights, and then I had a pair of old 7 Deltas.
Yep. I had a PVS 14s.
PVS 14s, yeah. Well, my 7 Deltas were the binoculars, so right. The two eye cups to the one thing, and man, those things are a piece of shit. I don't even know how they still work.
The 14 did good for me. I had that, and we'll talk about that with gear. Basically, I had that behind a EOTech, and we'll talk about that. Really, my going into the night hunting before thermals, and that's what I had at the time.
Yeah. Well, you said you started off with lights and then progressed. What's your first coyote that you killed?
Actually, it was after I got thermals. I got to see some coyotes with lights. And just a funny story, I have a stand probably 70 yards from here on a field, scanning lights. I had the wicket lights to start with, and we had some fox out there. I didn't even know how to call. Like, I don't even know what I was playing. I had an old, I think it was it's a Fox Pro. I think it was the Inferno. Just a single speaker. Mm-hmm. Is that the Patriot maybe?
The Patriot had the single speaker.
A little handle on it. It looked like the flashlight.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know, but I didn't even know what sounds I was playing. I had 2 fox out there running around, and my wife was shining the light. She goes, I see eyes, and I look up straight out 100 yards out. There's 5 sets of eyes standing there looking at us, and I go, those are coyotes. Of course, they scattered.
Yeah.
Started barking at us, but man, I was pure junkie.
Oh yeah.
And again, went to that stand. After I went through some thermal, I think I took 1 or 2 shots with the night vision. I had an ATN. I actually ran a photon. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Yep.
Took it out one time, 32 degrees out. It froze up, never turned back on.
Oh man.
So I took it back to the academy. But anyhow, first coyote on the thermals. Made a couple shots on some coyotes. Wasn't good shots. Probably me, nervous. I mean, I'll tell you, I get jacked up then as I get jacked up now. I mean,
real.
If we kill one tonight, I would be just straight adrenaline. I mean, it just gets me pumped. But anyhow, took a shot, spun him, basically mag dumped on him. Yeah. Ended up coming back to the house real quick, grabbing my wife, calling my dad, grabbing a magazine, and running back out there, and and it was cold. But that was it, man. I mean, and man, I was just said, I was already just seeing coyotes got me jacked up, but then you actually get your hands on one.
Yeah.
And it's the addiction's real.
Oh, it is. It's as bad as a drug addiction.
What about you? What was yours?
So my first coyote that I actually killed was I was in high school. I was early one morning before school. I was brushing my teeth in my bathroom, and I looked out the window, and about 50, 75 yards from my back window, we had a burn barrel, and there was a coyote moving through the mesquite and yucca brush. So I ran into my room, grabbed my 30-30, just an old Winchester 94 30-30, went in there slowly, as quietly as I could, open up the window.
What kind of rounds were you shooting?
30 Winchester,
like soft points or something.
Yeah, the Remington soft points or
how we develop.
Yeah,
again, we'll talk about some of that down.
It was just the round.
That's what you had.
My dad bought me for
right.
deer and hog hunting.
Yep.
Grabbed it, set it. Was pushing the muzzle out the window, and kind of made a noise. I don't know if the wood of the forend scraped on the window, but it kind of stopped and looked at me, and as soon as it did, put the front sight post where I thought something was, pulled the trigger. My dad came screaming in the bathroom, "What the fuck is going on?" I was like, "There's a coyote out there." He goes, "You don't shoot it inside the house." I run out there, and sure enough, it was a coyote. I think it weighed over 30 pounds, maybe
nice.
36, 38 pounds. Took it to our 4-H FFA barn that we had there at the school. We had a teacher. He was a game warden or a reserve game warden or something. Ended up giving me a little piece of paper, and I got like $27 for it, $28 for it.
I wish we could get paid out here. I mean,
it was cool. That was the first one I ever killed. Never really got much more into it.
Okay.
Really started, high school focusing on sports and other things.
Right.
But
get that driver's license. And
everything else. But the addiction came. I was trading a gun, and this guy gave me another gun and some other stuff like an Primos Alpha Dog, or Primos Power Dog.
Mm-hmm. These Alpha Dog,
a little green thing with two, had like 12 sounds on it. Me and my buddy are out there, and I've got a small piece of property. We're in the back and a little deer ground blind, shining with a flashlight IR and trying to look with my 7 Deltas, and thought that we'd hit it with the IR lights, look through the scope and see the scope rings. It was it was a mess.
It's a shit show.
We had no idea what we were doing.
That's how we all start.
Yeah. But never called anything in, never saw anything. But then came back from another deployment.
So you were in the Marine Corps for that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. That one was.
So where were you hunting at?
North Carolina, Jones County.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were on your property?
Yeah, my property. Never really saw any coyotes on my property. Just figured we'd call them in.
Oh, okay.
When I started hunting that time, I didn't know anything about coyotes really.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I came back and got behind thermal and started watching.
That's the game changer.
Yeah, I started watching YouTube videos of all the Godfather coyote hunting.
Yep.
Tory Cook.
Yeah.
John Collins before he was with MFK and did his Tooth and Claw TV.
Al Morris.
Putting
them up.
The O'Neill Ops guys, watching them and how they were calling them in and learning the art and the science behind calling, and just started learning about coyotes and their biology and how they work and their characteristics.
That's right.
And then when I got one in thermal coming down, and two of them were coming across the field. We called them in as a mated pair during breeding season. They come all the way across the field about 400 yards. Me and my buddy got coming in. We got them stopped. Again, I haven't been shot behind thermal very much. And hunting pigs in Texas, we're 50 yards from them. Not used to it, no depth perception.
I looked at hunting's a whole different world, knowing distance.
Yeah, I looked at it, and I hit about 75, 80 yards. Ended up being about 140 yards.
It's a poke for you. For a beginner.
For a beginner, I'm running 223, 55 grain VMAX. Shot a little low, because where I was hiding the drop of the bullet, and heart shot the coyote, and it ran, and I tracked that thing Onyx showed me it was 180 yards, but going through the brush. Cut over, that 180 yards felt like a mile.
Oh yeah.
Finally recovered it, but once I put my hands on it, that was it.
That's it.
This last year season is the most I killed any deer, but I never actually went out deer hunting. We just killed them while we were out getting ready to coyote hunt.
Yep. That's a funny story too. But going back to just real quick on bullets, when I started, again, I did the same thing, YouTube, reading. When I get into something, I want to know everything. So, I literally read, and I still do to this day. I read every night when I'm laying in bed for coyotes. I want to know why they blink, what they eat, why they make a left turn. I want to know everything about that animal and, try to, we're trying to outsmart them. So if any advantage I can find, I'm reading about it. YouTube, John Collins, Tory Cook, Al Morse, those guys, they put up numbers for a reason. But, I've watched all their videos, and you're going to learn. Those guys, listen to Tory Cook on some other podcasts, that's understanding why he makes his sounds to this day, still, educates me.
Of course.
So, guys, if you haven't listened to those guys, you need to. We do. But anyhow, I'm sorry, bullet selection. I started out with freaking FMJs, 55 grain FMJs. And that's why I was getting spinners and, wasn't getting those kill shots. I probably had 2 or 3 out there killed, but they ran off and I'd spin them and they take off. So, progressing into with some other guys, they introduced me to the VMAX. And I dumped my first one with a VMAX in the chest and all 4 collapsed. And I was sold. I've been sold on the VMAX since. So, and we'll talk about all that with some guests and why, but that's important.
It's definitely important. Bullet selection, gear selection, knowing your gear, knowing your ballistics, especially at night. You've got to be able to run your gear effectively and efficiently. And if you pull the trigger and it goes click instead of bang, you got to, trying to figure out what malfunction you have, how to clear that malfunction safely, and work from there.
And we've done that. We've been on the set where I've heard you dry fire or light primer strike, and I know I hear you tap rack bang, and we still dumped the dogs before they got away. But we'll get into all that with loads and with some people. But I'm gonna talk about how we met. I run a local tournament. Like I said, when I get into something, I got to be in it. So after I kill a couple dogs, I'm going pro, right? I'm waiting on Fox Pro to call me. But there was nobody here that I knew of hunting coyotes. So me and my daughter, we started a little tournament here. And 30 days, put it on Facebook. And I think we had 7 teams that first year. Second year, we got a little bit, those guys told some people, 11 teams. And the third year is the one you were in.
I thought I was in the second year.
No, you were in the third.
Yeah.
Because we did the weigh-in. You've been the weigh-in at the lot or at the cabin. But I remember you coming up. I don't think you killed anything that first.
No.
The story was you were talking to somebody else. And we'll get into this with land management and, knowing who's in your area. You were calling
to another hunter
to another tournament or another team in the tournament, and because you guys were like, he's like, that was a Fox Pro sound or whatever, and then y'all were like, where were you hunting at? So that was kind of a funny story. And then I don't think you killed anything that year, but you came to weigh-in, and that was, I started this tournament or the tournament to meet other coyote hunters, and that's what I've done, and that's how I met Chance. And several other guys. Over the years, I've got guys that come every year that are, that's going to be their tournament, which is great. But last year we had 27 teams, and it was fantastic. So it's growing, but the whole point of that tournament is one, to get other people together. I got guys that are, singles or doubles, and they're looking for a third guy. So, when they come to weigh in, maybe they can meet somebody just like me and you met.
Yep.
But before the tournament, the second tournament, you were deployed for 9 months. And me and Chance just coyote stuff back and forth on Facebook.
Got to feed that addiction.
Yeah, he was like, I watched every YouTube video. I remember you saying that. Yeah. And he actually called me and he said, hey, man, I'm coming. Because we were concerned you weren't going to make the tournament.
Yeah, I got back like a week before the tournament.
Yeah. And so I invited Chance. I said, hey, man, come out. I got some properties. I'm not hunting. I don't hunt my own tournament. I said, come out, give you a little trigger time. I think you took 1 or 2 shots that night. We called in a couple dogs. Yeah. Then you did the tournament. I think that one.
That one we got 4. It was me and Nate.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Nate.
So maybe no. You were the second tournament.
Yeah, second tournament. I've been there 3.
That's right. You've been there 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
first tournament, nothing.
Yeah.
Well, that one I had a shot on the coyote, but did not have any bullets in my gun. And when the loudest sound in the woods is when it clicks.
It happens. I've done it several times.
Yeah, that coyote turned, looked right at my ground blind where I was at, turned and walked off while I'm sitting there trying to, go to load another magazine and, tap rack bang.
Yep, I've done it.
You can't tap rack bang when you don't have a magazine in the gun. So I'm going through my bag, my pockets, looking for a spare mag somewhere.
I've done the same thing. I'm like, calling, getting set up. Yeah. I'm 200 yards from the car, and I reach up, and I'm like, I ain't even got no damn magazine in it because I've cleaned the gun.
Yeah. Well, it happened to me trying to record this podcast yesterday. Get all set up. I ain't got no batteries for the camera. No magazine, no batteries.
That's right. But that's basically how we met, and I encourage everybody, you may not be able to compete at some of these tournaments. I mean, there's some guys that are putting up piles.
Yeah.
But go to these weigh-ins.
Yeah.
Find those guys that are in you live 35 minutes from me. Mm-hmm. You're not looking for the guy down the street, but anyhow, after the tournament, you and Nate invited me out and said, hey, man, we're going to go to north of here. Mm-hmm. And me and you talked the whole way there.
Yep.
Just everything, rounds, guns, land management. Mm-hmm. And we ended up killing, I think we killed 2 dogs that night.
Yep, 2.
Killed on the first one. And Becky and Nate fell asleep coming home. And me and you talked the entire, in between sets, we were talking about land and how we do it. And we just shared so much. And that really is what the tournament's about to me, was meeting other guys, sharing strategies, just information. Some people in this game, they want to keep secrets.
Yeah.
Well, if I teach you something and you beat me in a tournament, I feel successful.
Yeah.
Especially, if we're on the same level and I gave you a trick or a tip and you use that to beat me, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, why guard all the secrets? If you're afraid someone's going to beat you, you should just get better yourself.
That's right.
Always try to be better. Always strive to be better.
Be better than me.
Yep. You're always going to learn something else. And if something that I've gone through that'll help somebody else, I'll be more than happy to share that.
A mistake you made that they may not make because they're going to say, hey, I remember that. Put my magazine in the gun.
Yeah.
Little stuff. But it's not, and this ain't all about tournaments. We're doing this predator management, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we do it for. I do it on my property. My quail have come back. I've got more turkeys on my property. I had 18 birds at one time on my range right here. Literally out this back door. So that was not here, 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it is about predator management. But let's talk about some of the topics. What are we going to talk about in this? We're going to try to do a series once a week, once every 2 weeks. We don't know yet. So,
and we want the series to build on each other, so it's kind of consistent, and not just jumping all around. But we want to talk about land management, hunt management.
I think that's going to be a big one in a long podcast.
How we acquire land, what we do for it. Then we got some gear that we want to go over. Everyone, I'm a gear geek, so I like talking about gear and this and that, and we've spent a lot of money on gear, and some of it's good, and we recommend it. Others, I will steer you away from it, just because I know it won't work, or it's not good quality, or it's just depending on your hunting style. It may not fit your hunting style
and your budget.
But
the gear thing is. Like you said, we've been through a lot of stuff. So if somebody can learn something from that and save you some money building to that, great.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. I've been through I'm on my 3rd head, tripod head. And we'll talk about that during the gear one. But man, if I'd have known about that, years ago, I could have saved myself some money.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. We're gonna have guys on here, like I said, both ends of the spectrum. Guys from the beginning to guys. Hopefully, we're gonna have some industry guys. We're gonna talk to Brian Z, retired sergeant major. Has moved to Maine. He guide hunts bears up there, and then he's also doing some coyote hunting with some clip-on thermals. We'll talk to him about that, how it's working out in that extreme. I mean, it's cold up there. I mean, they're riding snowmobiles, so never experienced that myself. So we'll see what he's got to say.
And we'll talk to Ryan Cooperis from Hunting Carolinas. He's a Marine vet, retired gunny out of the Marine Corps. He's got a local guiding business where he guides hunters for hogs as well as coyotes, and he also has a predator management business that he manages predators in an urban environment. So we'll talk to him how he's doing that, and
doing some air gun stuff.
Air guns.
He's testing out some of that for a company.
Yeah, I mean, some of those air guns are putting up ballistics better than 17 HMR.
Yeah, hopefully he'll have some data to share with us. I'm excited. Sniper Hog Lights, Jason Brooks. I sent him a message. He's interested. Again, guys, we're not pros. We're amateurs. Everything we show or talk about, we buy. But some of these products or industry guys that we're going to talk about, it's because we use those products and we believe in those products. So don't think we're being paid for none of this.
Yeah, we have no affiliate links. We have no. The only skin in the game we have is our passion for it. No one's paying us for our opinion or to sell you on something.
And I run thermals. I mean, I have Sniper Hog Light headlamp, but I've looked through night vision, guys with some night vision equipment, and it's phenomenal. I mean, I didn't know nothing about that when I got started. So the guys that are getting in the game that need a little, on not a budget setup. I love the Wraith and the Sniper Hog Light together. It's a great setup. I know, and we'll talk about some guys killing dogs with that.
We'll talk to Nathan Bailey with the Loaded Gunny out of New Bern, North Carolina. He's running helped me, and he's ran the load data and the ballistics and helping me hand load 6mm ARC rounds, the 65 grain VMAX. We're working on a 58 grain and a 75 grain VMAX load now. So we'll talk about bullet construction. He's getting into some long range PRS shooting, so we'll talk about that. He does some hunting.
Good information for guys. Some guys run factory loads. A lot of guys run hand loads. So maybe he can give you a tip on what's working out there. We'll talk to hopefully iray. Talk with Nate out there. He's supposed to come out hopefully in August, and going to bring some gear out because I'm looking at some iray stuff myself, and I got several guys that are really interested, and we'll talk about that. But we'll get him on here. Hopefully he can tell us some things that are coming out with the app. I think me and you talked about that, so hopefully that'll come up and people's going to be excited about that new thing coming out.
I got a message the other day on my email from iray talking about the new update for my scope, and it has a custom reticle. So I'm kind of interested in a custom. I hadn't done any research into it. I'm not sure what it's about. I'll talk to Nate, the iray guy, and see what he says about it. Because I mean, if I can log into the app and plug in, like it's a ballistic calculator, I plug in, I'm running 65 grain VMAX at 3230 feet per second with the 50-yard zero. My max point blank range is 312 yards, and he plugs it in. Now that static BDC reticle now, okay, hey, look, I know the crosshairs dead on is 50. The one below it's 175 or whatever it is. That's going to be a game changer. It takes it into a BDC.
And he's got some other things. I talked to him a couple weeks ago in person, and there's something coming out. I'm hoping, but we'll see and see if he brings that up.
We'll talk to guys up north in Pennsylvania, Chad and his buddy Justin. Chad's a Marine buddy that I served with, did a couple of deployments with them. All around solid guy. He can hunt, can shoot. He just a jack of all trades. He came down here and hunted the Carolina Coyote Classic with me and Timmy in 2023. He was just astonished at how we set up hunts, and we get some fields that are maybe 400, 600 yards long, and he's like, man, I gotta bring my PRS rig out for this, because he's hunting fields anywhere 50 yards, 100 yards, 200 yards is the longest shot.
I mean, some of our, like, what we felt was small fields, he was like, man, these are big,
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, but they're shooting in, inside 200 yards probably.
Yeah,
I think
different terrain.
We showed him our setup, the caddy. He took a lot. I think Chad took a lot away from that weekend. He said so. Maybe he shared some of his things up his way about fox hunting.
Well,
they're eat up with fox hunting.
Yeah, they are, and I know he's building looking for a rig. Justin's got an engine. They're looking for a Silverado or a Tahoe or something. So they could drop this new engine in, and they're going to build a Coyote Caddy 2.0.
Yeah, and if you want to see the Coyote Caddy, it's on my YouTube channel, Drop Zone Hunting _ or Drop Zone Hunting ENC, I believe.
Yeah. But we may do another video and put it in with our gear stuff. Just a quick overview of it, not an in-depth one. But Timmy's got a video where he talks about what he built, how he built it, and goes into it.
And guys, again, we're average coyote hunters. I am a novice YouTuber. Like, everything I did was on that iPhone.
Yeah.
I don't know how to edit that stuff well, but it's more, to me, it's about content, right?
Yep.
I mean, I've got some other stuff on there, but I'm here to share knowledge. I'm not here to like get a Grammy award. So excuse my rawness in the editing.
Yeah.
What else do we got?
We'll go over our stand tactics and how we train for tournaments and the communication we do, strategies that we look at.
And if you're hunting with somebody, either if it's just for one tournament or even really hunting anytime, me and you, I won't say we train, but you come out here, we set it up, we try to get a little intense with it and get that single boom with 2 guns or 3 guns, and get on target, which is critical, because in the tournament I hear all the stories.
Oh yeah.
During the tournament I get, oh man, we missed this one, or whatever, and then you come to weigh in and everybody's telling how they messed up. Well, that just comes back to you didn't train with your team. And we're both military and it's law enforcement. That's critical. And we'll talk about all that later. I think we're gonna do some bow stuff.
Yep.
Later on. Yeah. And then I also got one of my land managers, big turkey hunter. Hopefully he's gonna come on and just give us a quick, why what we're doing as predator hunters is helping the turkey population, on his property as well. And I can, again, I can testify to that because it's happening here. So
I've got a landowner too. I've killed 2 coyotes off his property, and
just 2.
Yeah, just 2. And he showed several videos of 20 poults walking around, and he's got some shooters. So it definitely, predator management has its benefits.
Yes, it does. You got to, and not just coyotes. I mean, I take out bobcat and fox here. Yeah. I don't kill every one of them, but I keep my numbers low because that's mouths to feed. So now every coyote don't get a pass. No coyote gets a pass. No. So I got a big cat back here. I thought it was a bear when he came out. It was so big, but he got a pass. Anything else? I mean, hopefully we're going to have some other topics come up. Hopefully we get some guys again. Guys, we're average guys, man. Like we go out, we do 2 sets, 3 sets, kill 1, 2, 3 dogs. Of course, in the wintertime we go out earlier, so we can do a few. Like right now we can't. It gets dark at 9. Do 3 sets. It's midnight. Yeah. With travel time. So we'll see where it goes, man.
Yeah. All right, guys, I think this is going to wrap it up for this episode. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Please like, share, and comment. Help grow this channel. And the more exposure we get, the more we can help people out and share the information we have. You can find me, Preying on Predators. That's the handle for TikTok, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Timmy, where can they find you at?
Drop Zone Hunting _ENC on Instagram, and Drop Zone Hunting ENC on YouTube. Again, I'm not a content creator. I'm just putting what I can put out there. But I love sharing my experience. as well as you, just sharing that information. We're here to kill predators for our landowners. So, and hopefully you guys can learn one tip, two tips. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for your time.